Hey guys, how's it going? So today I wanted to talk about the subject of equality amongst men and women. So what do you guys think about that? I'm going to be very careful talking about this subject because I feel that today, in our day and age, people get offended at just about anything. So first of all, I just want to say that I am for equality of men and women, absolutely. But are we actually equal in our society? That's a very hard thing to answer, because I actually think that we're not exactly really at the level where women and men are actually equal. I'd love it to be equal because I do believe that we are equal. But there's just so many ingrained ideas that we have from centuries and centuries of way of being, basically, that have resulted in us not really actually being equal. I mean, if you really think about it, a lot of times women will talk to you about wanting to be equal in the workplace and in the relationship and being equal in everyday life. But then when it comes to other things, such as if you're going out with a girl, paying the bill, or who has to be the bread maker in a relationship, a lot of times, for some reason, especially in America, I found that women just expect the male to be making more money and for the male to pay for those dates, for the male to approach the woman first, for the male to be the stronger person, for the male to be the business maker or bread maker or main bread maker, making the most money. The woman still feels that she's often the person that's the most important for raising the kids, and oftentimes courts will still, on a guardianship of children, go and favor the side of the woman. So I'm totally for equality, but I feel that if we're gonna talk about equality, well, guess what? Well, maybe I want to get some flowers sometimes, and sometimes I'd like to have the door open for me, right? Does that make sense? And at the same time, if it's going to be equal, then great. Maybe I can clean the house sometimes, and I can cook too. But it's just about, I think society and the world will truly be equal once we start putting less tags on people, be it for race, minorities, where you come from, how you speak, who you are, man, woman, tall, short. If we can truly look past all these physical exterior things of every person, then maybe we can really truly be equal. Because the thing is, in this day and age, we still have favoritism amongst for the white people and stuff like that, which is very interesting, because technically it shouldn't happen. Something that for me was very funny when I first came to America is they asked me in college what ethnicity I was, and then I was like, well, I don't know, I'm white. And then you're like, oh, well, that means Caucasian, so you have to take Caucasian. And I was like, oh, I've never actually heard that word. I think it's very interesting. But having grown in Europe, I never heard the word Caucasian, and I was actually never asked what race I was on an application, which is very interesting. But the reason I'm talking about race and all that is because it comes to the same fact of equality in women. I think a lot of times people want to still keep the advantages of being one thing, but then also get the advantages of being the other, which I believe that if we truly want to have equality amongst people, and I'll say amongst men and women, and also races, and just humans in general, because let's face it, now we're talking about a much broader subject, which is equality amongst human beings, then it's important to go through and look past these physical barriers that everyone looks at. It can come to the fact, and similarly, that if you see someone that looks really, really young, you're going to treat them differently than if you see someone that looks older. Well, what if the older person is actually younger than the younger looking person, but because the younger looking person looks young, maybe you give them more opportunities. That goes and makes a full circle in a way to glass ceilings that haven't been imposed to a lot of women in a lot of fields, and now a lot of people are trying to break them, which is great. I do think it's great, but at the same time, I feel that almost in a way, if you really truly want to be 100% accurate, let's say in a applying for a job or something like that, then it would be almost better on a job application to not even put the name of the person, and just have a resume of what they are doing and what they've done, so that once they come into the interview, then you can see if they're a male or a woman. But at this point, like, you just keep it neutral and not just say in a workplace, well, we want to have more minorities, or we want to have more women, or we want to have more males, or we want to have more of this and that, so that we can keep everything equal. But maybe if you really want equality, then you shouldn't even look at the fact of male, woman, age, a lot of things, So it's a very difficult subject, and it's probably not something that you can just talk about in a 10-minute video, and that probably, honestly, there just isn't an answer at this point, because we'd almost have to take away eyes and take away ears and take away centuries of upbringing and ways of how people have lived in order to really have that 100% equality. So is it possible to achieve? Yes. But is it going to be happening immediately now? No. Is it getting better? Yes. And that's basically my point on it, is that unfortunately we're not 100% equal. I mean, even for me, being a Caucasian, but at the same time I'm not blonde-haired, blue eyes, I have a slight accent, I'm treated as a minority in a lot of cases because they think I'm something else. And yeah, it's really interesting. So unfortunately, at this point, it's important to just be aware of the fact that you should be more forgiving and less judgmental about physical appearances. And yeah, for the women out there, it's important to also understand that maybe if you really truly want equality, then you can't also have the advantages that we're given, such as opening doors and always being sweet and all that stuff. I mean, that's just a courtesy that everybody should do to everyone. And sometimes it's nice to have a restaurant bill paid by the other person, no matter if it's male or woman, and then you do the same on the next turn, right? Because at the end, it's people spending time together, and it should be equal if we're really wanting equality, right? Well, that's it. Have a great day. Bye.